What's this?
What's this?
What's this?
Can't lie, the compression is a little different on the image here. I think I like it.
It's not bad. I wouldn't be mad if this was our shot forever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. Mads and Nub Podcast, episode 257. We're just brainstorming a little bit because, of course, I left the adapter for the mirrorless camera at home. So, therefore, all the lovely lenses that I have are useless. They're just paperweights, big, heavy, expensive paperweights. So, that's what we're doing. But, yes, we were just discussing that. I think we like the compression on this. You know, shout out in the chat if you mess with it. What's the matter?
You hear the rain?
Yeah, the rain sounds crazy. It's like dumping out there.
Yeah, I thought my dog was doing some weird shit.
It started dumping when I was on my way here, man. On my way here from the range.
Yeah. Listen, you guys don't know this because Justin and I don't post our lives on social media, but your boys have been out there hitting the greens.
That's right.
You know
Hitting
what
the
I'm saying?
greens, putting the greens, short game, long game, you know?
Short game, long game, stiff game. Justin and I and another one of our friends have been playing a good amount of golf lately for whatever reason.
Because it's fun and it's great and it's gets you out, man. Good, great old outdoors, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, it is very fun. As somebody who's never been a golfer, this is like my first experience. Like the past couple of weeks of all those golfing is like my first experience really playing a game, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, it's mad fun.
I get why people like it.
Yeah, for sure. It gets you out. It's and you already know that you're going to be outside and you're going to be playing for hours. So it's you kind of just let go and you accept it. Like this is where I am.
I'm basically in the middle of nowhere because I'm on like the 7th or 13th hole.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of nowhere because I've been driving around for 2.5 hours.
That's right.
On this cart. So I really have no idea. When I'm out there, I have no idea where I am because of the way like the golf course is. I think they...
In relation, like directionally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I feel
Listen,
like
if there's a medical emergency, put the bird in the air. You know what I'm saying? We're not figuring this thing out. I don't have a compass with me. I don't. If the cart path were to end, beats the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm miles away from where I entered.
Because you are.
Right?
Bro, it's like Central Park.
Yes.
You know? But it's great, man. Golf is great.
Golf is good.
Yeah, so we've been playing. We had a good weekend, man. Busy weekend. Busy weekend, man. Shout out to Brian, who was on our podcast, and Brian Dromerhauser that was on our podcast. I don't remember the exact episode. I think it was like 253, something like that, 254.
Yeah, it sounds about close.
Yeah, something around there. So he was on. He's a comedian doing his thing, man. He's been organizing these dope shows, and we went to one on Friday to support. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Derelicts podcast. They also had a live stream set up, or not a live stream, just a podcast set up in the in one of the rooms there, and people were just in and out. They had comedians going in and just interviewing them from beginning of the show to the end, which was dope, man. It was like before their set, they would go on, and then after their set, they would come back on, and they were just talking about it, which I thought was really cool, man. It was super original. I'd never seen something like that.
Yeah, fire concept.
It was different, but yeah, it was good. Shout out to Silvio.
Shout out to Silvio, who we got to see for the second time.
Yeah, man, we saw him. It's crazy because he's on Long Island now. When we first saw him, he got called up. He got pulled out of the bucket on Kill Tony when we were at the Garden. And he did his thing.
Yeah, super funny. Justin actually was the one that was like, yo, that's the dude that was from Kill Tony. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is that guy. You got a good eye, Justin. That's not the first time you've done that.
Yeah, come on, man. I could pick him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The comedy show was really good. Everybody was funny. Jason, one of the Derelicts, went up for his first time doing comedy. I thought he was fucking funny.
Yeah. Did his thing, man.
Everybody was. It was a good time.
It really was, and it was just a good event, man. It was dope. It was a packed house. Just all around, it was a good event, man. It was really cool. And what else? Then we Saturday we had some other stuff too, some family stuff, and then we did we shot a video for an artist, very good friend of ours. Really cool concept with a fire car, dude.
Super fire,
dude. Homie pulled up with the McLaren, bro.
Yeah, I had to I had to like pull my jaw off the ground. Dude, when you see like, there's something about like the craftsmanship that goes into like a car like that. It was a 720S. It was a McLaren 720S. And it was like Tiffany blue and orange. Dude, so nice, dude. Like the whole front, pretty sure the whole front bumper's carbon. Like the doors are carbon. Every piece of trim on the inside is carbon. Just a sick car.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth, man. I don't know how I would ever take that car on the road because I don't even like wearing new sneakers because I don't want them to get messed up. I don't want them to get scratched. I don't want them to get beat up. Like, I find myself rarely wearing new shoes, especially if they're white. I don't really wear them that much. Like, once you wear them once, I feel like dust just settles on them and they never look the same. So
Yeah.
I could only imagine a car like that, dude.
Well, that's why you definitely don't drive. That's not his daily driver. You don't daily drive him, and when you do drive him, you're careful. Not everywhere is like this. Like New York, I think we have terrible streets.
Yeah.
Cities and like we have terrible streets. But if you go to Florida, flat, dude.
Yeah.
Texas too.
Yeah, it's probably. You think it's fun to drive over there? You think it's just flat? It's not like Top G says it is in Romania. You know what I'm saying? With these windy roads.
The windy roads in Europe are like nothing else.
Yeah.
Driving through the Alps. You know what I'm saying? Pulling through the chicanes in France. Europe got some serious roads. They say like the Northeast has the best roads. Like
where we are?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Us, New England.
What, interesting roads
No, like
in terms of layout?
yes.
Okay.
Like I think Tail of the Dragon's like in Virginia or it's in like the DMV. I think it covers like a couple states.
Tail of the Dragon, they call it?
Yeah.
So what, does it go like this?
No, it's like,
here,
I'll show you what it looks like. It's
got a whip like this. I imagine it's a dragon, like a Japanese traditional dragon. It's probably some kind of windy snake pattern.
So it's North Carolina. That's where it's at. Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like.
So guys with dope cars just go to these locations just to drive around?
Just to drive them, yeah.
Damn. Oh, yeah.
But
That's interesting.
when it comes to like Florida or states like Florida, they say that it gets pretty boring pretty quick because they're just, the roads are super nice. They're flat, but they're just straight. Like there's no like...
Yeah, you don't get to feel the turn. Like, you don't get to actually feel the vehicle perform. You just get to feel the acceleration, and that's it.
Yeah, there's only so many top speed runs you could do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's a give and take at the same time. Like, you don't have to worry as much out there. They get to drive their cars all year long, too.
Yeah, you mess around and hit a cow or something out there.
That's also why there's a lot of cows in Florida.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in Texas. But yeah, in Florida, now you hit a gator.
Yeah, you could hit
Might
a
go
gator.
ahead and hit like a reticulated python that's been abandoned in the
I was
Everglades.
just going to say you could hit a python or something.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. I do know that we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, we damn sure do. The Diddy trial.
The Diddy trial, what's going on with the Diddy trial?
The Diddy trial's done, apparently, and now it's just a matter of deliberations. Jury's deliberating.
So, what do you think? It seems kind of quick, right?
I don't know if it's quick, man. It's been a while. It's just they cover it and they don't, and they cover it and they don't.
No, it hasn't been a while since like the case since they started going to court, though.
Yeah, well, not everything is the Young Thug trial. That shit went for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
The Young Thug trial went longer than The Wire.
Yeah, facts. Okay, so what does this mean? What do you think is going to happen? Like, that's it? He's out skis after this?
Apparently what they're saying is that they came to a partial verdict.
Oh, what's the partial verdict?
They haven't said what it is, but they're saying that there's 2 counts of sex traffic by force.
Okay.
And there's 2 counts of transportation for prostitution.
That's not that bad. Those are
I mean, sex trafficking by force is pretty
Sex
bad.
trafficking by force is crazy.
Yeah, but those are the 4 charges that they've come to, a verdict on. But the one that they haven't is the racketeering one.
Racketeering.
Yeah, he's facing a racketeering charge, which now at this point they're just hitting everybody with the RICO. Everybody's getting hit with the with racketeering and shit.
Like organized crime?
Yeah. That's pretty much what it stands for. It was designed to get the guys they couldn't get because they were too good.
Yeah.
So they said, we got to get them somehow. And
Who
then
were
just
the other people involved in this RICO?
I don't know. I think it's just racketeering conspiracy. I don't think it's a full RICO charge, because a RICO charge is, racketeering, and then it also expands to a criminal enterprise. There has to be a criminal enterprise, like an organized syndicate structure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I wonder who else is like, if they hit him with the RICO, it's like there's got to be some other people involved.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a RICO. It's just racketeering.
Okay, what does that mean?
Racketeering is the first letter in the RICO.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Is he going back and forth with something?
No, it's racketeering is when hold on, I'm gonna have to look this up. I've looked this up 45 times in my life.
So real quick, Spaz says Tail of the Dragon starts in Virginia and goes down mostly in North Carolina.
All right,
Back
so
to racketeering.
Racketeering is engaging in a pattern of illegal activities, often for financial gain, that is part of a criminal enterprise. So I guess they're saying he used his record label, he used his organization in order to deal in these acts of people and this leveraging acts or whatever they're saying.
But I wonder,
abuse, drugs.
So does that mean they're going to go after the Punisher? Are they going to bring Punisher in and he's going to go to jail too because he was participating and punishing people, specifically Cassie?
I think the Punisher is a victim. That's what I think.
I agree.
I think the Punisher is a victim.
Yeah, I think if Diddy's found guilty of anything, then this guy's it just proves even more further that this guy's a victim. I wonder what's going to happen. Does he walk? What's the over under? What are the streets saying right now?
I'm not sure. I don't really know what the streets are anymore since that dead internet theory. I think it's all just bots. I don't even enjoy giving people shit anymore in the comments.
Internet?
No,
because
it's none of it's real.
Yeah.
None of it's real. When they go away after I give them a little something and they never respond, I'm like, that's not a real person. I'm like, this one was good. They gotta, how are they not coming? What?
Yeah.
You just gonna throw the towel in after that?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro.
There's a story I wanted to talk about today that you might enjoy, and it's not dead internet, but it's something to do with technology.
Okay, let's do it.
There's like this campaign going around for companies that are killing games.
What do you mean?
It's called it's called the Stop Killing Games movement. And essentially it's like a company will just stop no longer support a game. And eventually when you don't support it, you don't give it updates, then the server goes down and the game becomes like unplayable. It's not because they're not getting updates, but like little by little, they just cut it off, First, they stop doing updates, Then it's like...
Then they stop supporting it in terms of like tech support and fixing issues.
Eventually, they just decommission the game. Like the servers so you can't play online, and there's certain games that like you need that to play the game.
See, that's why, man, we need to go back to a hard disk, bro.
What?
So you could just have the game and they can't take it away.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I think it's the natural evolution of things as long as they're allowing, people prefer the game experience when it's a living game. It's a living, breathing game. It gets updates. It gets better. They change things, right? You get new whatever, right? Because I'm sure you download updates, going to fix glitches. There was no fixing your Super Mario 3 cartridge if there was a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? If you put it in and it worked and then it froze at this certain part, or there was a, part of the image doesn't load all the way and it's like a fucking drop pixel or something. Okay, that's just what it is. But now these games are alive, essentially. They're continuing. It's almost like they have a pulse with the user base and all that stuff. To get that, there has to be a trade-off. So I think that the trade-off is eventually the game dies. I think that's like, it has to be because,
Yeah.
you know, unless you just want to repeat the same goddamn game all the time, throw in Ninja Gaiden, it's the same goddamn game no matter how many times you play it.
And that does happen. Like there are people who like that's their thing. Like they want to play this game, or they're in another country. They don't have any other games, or like you'd be surprised how many people are still playing like very old Call of Duties.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's what games always used to be. And, you know, it's kind of, I felt that way when I remember there was a Kanye West album years and years ago. I think it was 808s and Heartbreak. And, you know, you got the digital download or you downloaded it from, you know, into your library from the streaming service, whatever it is. Or you had digital access through Apple Music. They ended up changing the album. Like you know, it's like they mixed one of the songs again or a couple of the songs and it changed it. When you hear something so many times and then you hear it and it's a little bit different, there's a little extra harmony in the back or there's, you know, and now this isn't what I fell in love with. Like I want my record in my hand that every time I put this on, it's going to sound the same.
Yeah,
I
this
don't,
is my song.
I
This
don't
is
want
the-
variants,
Yeah.
you know? So that's kind of what happens. I want music to be this accessible to me where from my phone, I could listen to Marvin Gaye and then I could listen to, you know, Jay-Z and then I could listen to the Temptations or I could listen to Celia Cruz, whatever I want. It's that accessible. So there's going to be trade-offs that I don't appreciate.
Spaz is having a game. Having the game only works on small games, though. Something like World of Warcraft requires something like a $50,000 PC to run. Yeah, so that's a good example. Like games like World of Warcraft, right? People have dedicated thousands of dollars, of hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars into these games, right? Or individuals, maybe thousands of dollars into these games. And they've been playing them for years. Like one day, if, you know, Blizzard doesn't feel like WoW makes sense and they take it down, like that's it. Everything is gone.
It'd be hard for them to justify that, though, at this point. I mean, I'm sure that that's a large part of their customer base and their client base is this game. Like, they're probably better off deading other games
Yeah.
and keeping this one going. Like, I don't know if I'm right in that, but I would imagine.
No, for Blizzard, yeah, WoW's one of their biggest games, and it doesn't probably financially make sense for them to take it down. But overall, like, you know, what there isn't like this isn't something that you could keep forever.
Yeah, like what do you do? What do you do, right? If they do discontinue it and you've been playing forever, I mean, I guess it's like an investment, right? Diversify a little bit.
It's not just WoW. It's like WoW's one of the bigger ones that's not going to go down, but like something like Guild Wars. You know, Guild Wars has been out just as long as WoW, and it's not as popular. Like if that company takes a shit, right?
Yeah.
And they put all their money into some Barbie Dreamhouse video game, and then that game doesn't sell, and then they don't have any money, they can't keep this game up, so on and so forth. But you paid for it, like you bought the game.
The government should bail them out.
Oh,
Bail them out.
yeah. Okay, good.
100%. Just bail them out.
I'm not going to play devil's advocate because I agree with you.
Bail them out, bro. Don't ever let World of Warcraft crash. After I had that realization, that epiphany last episode,
Yeah.
where I was like, oh my God, I think that I low-key desire to play World of Warcraft. I think it was made pretty clear.
Yeah. Dude, it was such a good time.
I'm sure it was, man.
It was such a good time. It was one of like the best times of my life.
I'm sure it was the best time of your life. Almost like
One of them. It wasn't the best time.
one of them.
Yeah.
One of the best times of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, man. There's nothing like playing with your boys, bro.
Yeah.
Playing some games with your boys. Pause. That sounded crazy. Playing some games with the homies, bro. It's old school, man.
So yeah, there's a movement to I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna force companies. They're gonna make a law. They're saying that like
They can. It's private enterprise. It's private business.
There's like something going on, like where it's like I think they're saying that their probability is higher in the UK than the EU to get it passed.
Yeah,
And, like,
they're locking you up for flipping somebody the bird over there.
Yeah.
They're gonna make these companies. They're gonna be like, God damn it, these kids need that World of Warcraft. God damn it.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
Who need this World of Warcraft?
they're saying that over there it's more likely to pass than it would be over here. But if you know, that's a huge market for these companies, right?
It is.
So I wonder what do they say? Like, hey, if you want to distribute in this market, they think they call it like the Fair Purchase Act or some shit like that.
That makes sense because you're paying money up front for access to it. So if one day down the road you're going to, you know, sever that access or block that access or close the game down, that needs to be stated up front.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I would love for certain games to live forever, but I also think at the same time that from a financial perspective, I could see why it doesn't make sense because these games, these online games, people are consistently trying to exploit them.
Yeah,
it's
always.
just a like cat and mouse game, in whether it's from a perspective of trying to cheat or trying to break together something malicious or you know whatever it is. Like and then there's bugs. There's always bugs, and then there's fixes that create bugs. So it's like these games take a lot of support. Need a lot of support.
Yeah.
It's not just a server that just sits in a data center that nobody touches.
I think eventually the gaming industry is just going to change it from you didn't purchase the game, you purchased a license to use the game. They're just going to change the terminology in their transaction. That's it. It's not going to be you didn't purchase the game, you purchased a license to access the game. And then they'll reserve the right to revoke the license at any time.
What's up, Cloudy? What up, Saif? Spaz says there's much more of a rabbit hole. For example, Google is going to sunset the first gen of the Nest thermostat. I think it'll just end up being a done thermostat once it ends support. But people bought a smart thermostat.
Yeah.
That's another great example. So they're no longer going to support that thermostat. The application won't support it. So, and this is
that's grimy. Like we can't keep that up. Like right now, my phone that I have,
Yeah.
there's apps that aren't compatible with, you know, my version of iOS or whatever. I'm like, that's bullshit. You know, given they weren't apps I paid for, so I can't really complain that much. They're free apps. But, you know, like one of my trade accounts, I can't access it until I update my iOS.
Yeah.
You know, that's annoying to me. Like I need access to it, but I'm in the minority.
But
They don't care.
It's the same thing with the thermostats. It's like most people probably have the newer thermostats, right? Because the people who would have gotten the first generation were early adopters of smart thermostats because they came out a while ago, and they were amongst like the first ones to do it. So mainstream at least. So most of the people who got it, being that they were early to smart thermostats, probably most likely upgraded and got some of the newer ones.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who still have them, and if they sunset them, like Spaz is saying, they're no longer going to have a smart thermostat.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's kind of annoying. You know, because it's not damaged. It's not like it broke. It's not like you wore it out to the point where it no longer functions properly. They just discontinued an item you paid for. That would be like if you buy a camera and it's in your house and you're using it, and then one day somebody shows up and is like, touches it and is like, you can't use this anymore. It doesn't work anymore. Sorry. And you're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, it's like those, like the agents from the Matrix. They're like, oh, we're the obsolescence agents.
Yeah.
So we're here to just, you can't use this anymore. And you're like, why can't I use it? I paid for it. And it's like, well, we don't support it anymore.
Yeah. Or they came over and they were like, black and white only now.
Yeah. Or washer dryer. Just come in, you're in the middle of a load of wash, and they're like, this doesn't work anymore. And you're like, wait a minute, it's been working fine. And they're like, well, not anymore. We don't want it to work anymore.
Yeah, guess what? We don't need that to work. We're making money with other things. This is costing us money. No longer works.
That sucks. And by the way, I looked at your kitchen on the way in here, and that blender is going to be gone in 6 months. So you better figure something out. I'll be back to touch that blender.
Yeah. Spaz says, so Google's in a spot to support something that could be hacked or remove support for something that people paid for. And that's what they're doing. I'm sure it'll happen with, you know, Spaz, I think that's going to happen with the Sonos speakers too, because like you need like a whole new app. You need like for like everything second gen and up, you need like a different application.
Yeah, shit is crazy, man.
I'm sure they're not going to support that other app for very long.
It bothers me, dude. It really does, man. It irks me, but I know that it's part of the game. It's they can't support everything forever.
Yeah, they can't, but
I don't want your support. Just give me the shit.
no, what happens is
You know
that
what I'm
it'll
saying?
break.
Yeah,
If they
I
leave a
know.
let's just say, for example, right? World of Warcraft. Let's say they stop supporting it.
Okay.
But they said we'll leave the servers up. Or somebody says, or they say somebody says, I'll buy the servers, and they leave them up, right? But they don't support it.
All right, so they sell him to T Grizzly.
It's selling the
And now he's got the World of Warcraft Detroit Edition T Grizzly server.
Yeah. Okay. Immediately, all the exploits just start happening, right? So
You mean exploits like external malicious groups
Yeah.
trying to infiltrate the game and get backdoors, hack it, essentially.
cheat in the game.
Yeah.
It would ruin the game, right? That's just from one perspective about you ruining the game's economy or ruining the playability. That's like one thing. That's best case scenario.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
best case scenario, the nerds are upset. And the
Second of
goons
all,
take over.
Other malicious stuff, they slow the game down and it becomes like unplayable because of, just errors, bugs.
Lack of
Like
updates and bugs not being fixed and
Yeah.
stuff. So, okay.
Yeah.
It would just fall apart. It needs constant maintenance.
Yeah. Or, worst case scenario, it breaks. It just breaks and it doesn't work at all.
And then
you
the
can't-
link, you can't,
and then
you try
can't
to
play it.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And that's like three things. I'm sure there's like a million other things that I'm not thinking of that could happen. And dude, that could happen in a day. There's guys
Before you know it, you'll be trying to buy like a $2,000 skin, and you're like, "That's an expensive skin." And really, it's not a skin; it's like sex trafficking. They're like selling people on there.
Yeah, dude. Bingo. So there's
Yeah.
another thing, right? You mentioned T Grizzly. He's one of the guys who's popular for this. You know all those like role playing servers where people play Grand Theft Auto?
I know of them because of him.
They own those servers. Those aren't like Grand Theft Auto servers. Like they're independent, but it's a version of the game that they like hacked, right? They will have like an economy in the game, and there's a pay to play aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where you can pay like $100 for 50 diamonds, and you use those diamonds to buy things in the game that aren't real.
Yeah, he's making so much bread doing that.
Well, people will go film YouTube videos of them going into the game and absolutely ruining the economy and giving out millions of those
I
diamonds.
saw a dude giving out billions.
Yes.
Yo, I seen him giving out billions. He was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, what's up, my guy?" And yo, you heard him. He's like, "No, you playing, bro? You gonna give me this much?" Yo, everybody's heard that plays that game.
Yeah.
Everybody I heard sound like a dude that's outside, bro. Every single one. Yo, he rolls up on him. I'm like, "No way, this is the real voice." And they're like, "Yo, bro, you playing, bro? You gonna really let me hold this?" And he's like, "Damn, yo, good looks, homie." Like, and then they'll just move on about their way, hop in the whip and bounce. And this is really him talking to these guys playing.
Yeah. So while that is funny to watch, and he's doing it from like the perspective that he hates these people that are making all this money off of this stuff.
He started the video by breaking down how T Grizzly's robbing everybody
Yeah.
and how he owns this gas station. His whole goal was to get robbed in front of T Grizzly so that he would end up being on his stream, on his
Yes.
game stream.
Yeah.
And then he would see that he's the one giving all his bread away.
He's in the background of T Grizzly's game
Yeah,
stream, and he's
yeah.
giving out, and he's the one. Well, stuff like that ruins the server. What do you do when everybody in the server now has enough money to buy anything they want?
Well, this is a little micro concept of the goddamn economy. So this is why we don't want the government printing endless amounts of money, because it does the same thing. It destroys the economy in real life. Okay, so let's pay attention to what's happening, but continue on with T Grizzly.
Real quick, I want to catch up on the chat.
Catch up.
Bobby says Google should have an exchange discount for things like that. I agree. They should have like some kind of program where you could trade in your first generation Nest and get like.
They don't have that?
He says they should have that. I
Or they
don't know
should
if
give
they
you a
do.
free upgrade.
Saifa said, I'm seeing a solution here. Go off the grid permanently. Spaz says, I wish to be off the grid, but I'm probably the most on grid person ever. I feel the same exact way. I would love to be off the grid, but
Well,
I love the internet.
PewDiePie pulled that shit. He pulled himself off of Google, man. I know they shared that in the Discord.
I seen that.
I watched the video.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched it.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's just my entire house is Wi-Fi disabled. I can't go enabled. I can't go off the grid. So he says I could leave all this right now and go herd some sheep somewhere for the rest of my life.
Yo, I hear you, bro.
100%.
I hear you. I just want some chickens. You know, I just want some, just simple life, bro. You know?
Oh, God, I love
the internet, though.
Yeah.
And I love my cameras. And, I like that.
Now with Starlink, you could go anywhere. But going back to what we were talking about, yeah, like these things are happening. And I think that we're getting, this is just like the gaming industry is like a small piece of this. The Google thing is another interesting one. It's going to be happening more and more now. That's technology that requires support and back end things to function for it to function. Those things are getting to end of life, and they're going to be decommissioned.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible they could end up having that portion run by AI or something like that? They could actually like some kind of software or something could fix basic bugs, and then maybe with bigger ones you have like more limited staff that's actually human? Or you think that's OD?
I'm sure it's possible. No, I'm sure it's possible. But it's like, yeah, I'm sure it's possible because people report bugs to company games, and that probably becomes a ticket that goes to a developer that probably works on that bug. So, yeah, I could see that happening. But I think that like the bugs is like a small percentage. I think not a small one. But it's a fraction, right? I think there's so many other things, that come into play.
Yeah, it's interesting that I feel like people are starting to kind of think about becoming less accessible.
Getting off the grid, right?
Yeah, I've seen it become so much more like when you see somebody like PewDiePie that's been, he's one of the early YouTubers that, he struck gold on the internet and that became who he is. And I know that he had some run-ins with cancellations and things like that, and saying certain things, dressing certain ways, and just kind of harming his internet revenue and cash flow. And I think that a lot of that probably woke him up. Mm-hmm. And it was like, damn, I feel like I don't work for anyone, or I don't, I'm independent and I'm doing what I want, but at the same time I have to please the people that are platforming my content.
Yeah.
And he seems to be pulling away from Google completely. Completely. He.
So what's the story? What he wiped himself off the internet?
He's like, it's just, he started with basic things. He was like, stop using Google Chrome.
Dude, I hate right now, whatever version of Google Chrome I'm on, I feel like it's the worst browser ever. I'm having issues with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all my favorites are on there.
That's what he was saying. He was like, just get off of that. He's like, use one that doesn't suck up your data and stuff. He was like, use DuckDuckGo, there was other ones he was naming, of course, like browsers that most people aren't familiar with, but they do exist. We think it's Google, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, and that's it.
Opera, yeah.
But yeah, he talked about that. He talked about changing, your email to a non-Gmail associated account. Just basic things like that, changing the default browser. Not just not using Chrome, but because each time you go in, it's like default things are popping up and you just get used to that kind of that environment.
So what's his purpose? What is he looking to achieve?
He just wants to pull out of this system that just keeps on sucking up all his information and stuff and kind of controlling what he does. He says he can't get away from it completely because of YouTube, and Google now owns YouTube, but he wants to un-Google his life because he feels like everything is too webbed and put together. In conjunction with them taking your data and stealing all your stuff. He's like, why are we doing this? They're just harvesting us. Yeah. You don't have to do this. He's like, just get out of this, out of this environment, which makes sense. It makes sense. Actually, what's funny? This reminds me, I saw, not to go like biblical, but I saw this pastor make this quote. He said, in this case, he said sinning, but he said, you could say convenience, let's say, instead. But he said sinning feels like freedom until you try to stop. Then it doesn't feel like freedom. So it's like, having all these things predict your stuff. It's like, it feels like freedom, like, okay, like Google knows what I want. Oh, they know my habits, like whatever. It feels like freedom until you try to break out of that system.
Yeah, damn, that's a good ass quote.
And then it's like, damn, maybe it's not freedom. Like, it doesn't feel like freedom anymore.
I want to grab a.
You know what I'm saying? Go for it. I didn't even drink this yet. Have this. I just opened it.
Thank you.
No doubt. But I found that to be a super interesting quote. I was like, damn, that shit is crazy. Feels like freedom until you try to stop.
Yeah, that's a really good quote. I use a lot of Google stuff.
I use a lot of Apple stuff.
You know, and they all do. Like, even when we were talking about this the other day, even when you go to the doctor, like, you know, now they want you to use the app.
Yeah.
And they want you to register on the app. And then it's like.
Yeah, you got shit for that recently.
Yeah, I went to
an appointment.
I went to a doctor's appointment the other day, and they were like, okay, I'm going to text you a link, and you're going to click it so you can check in. And I'm like, man, no, I don't want to do that. And then she was like, why, you don't have a phone? And I was like, no, I have a phone. I just don't want to download your app.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no, it's a link to a website. I was like, I don't want to go on your website either.
Yeah, it's not what I'm here for. I didn't come here to surf the net.
Nope. I want to see the dermatologist.
Yeah.
So why don't you do what receptionists do
and reception me.
and reception me, please. I feel welcomed. I feel safe. Please allow me to come in. No, which is, you know what's even crazier is like she was not happy with me, and in my head I'm like,
why are you
what
mad?
do you do here?
Yeah.
If not this,
Yeah.
what other purpose could you possibly have at this desk?
Yes.
Aside from welcoming people and checking them in.
You're literally the receiver,
Yes.
making all the receptions.
Yeah.
That's
She
you.
does the drop-offs.
I'm Tom Brady. Now receive.
She does the
saying?
drop-offs and the pickups because on the way out, I make an appointment with her, right? But if I never get in,
Yeah.
I could never come out.
Double
Honey,
whammy.
Yeah. You gotta... With great power comes great responsibilities, bitch.
That's right.
Write it down. And you know what the craziest, you know what the fucking kicker was on top of everything?
What?
She goes, I guess I'll just check you in. And I was like, okay, thank you. I wasn't mean. No need to be mean. And then she goes, can I get your insurance card? And I said, oh, yeah, but I only have a digital copy. And then I hand her my phone. I went there for a follow-up the other day. I didn't tell you this.
Continue on.
And you know what she tells me? She goes, oh, I'm going to do you a favor. Hold on. And she prints out my insurance card and cuts it into a little small wallet size piece of paper. And she gives it to me. She goes, here. Now, when you go to places, you don't need to, give them a hard time or anything. Because you could just give them this.
Do you think she was trying to help you or she was being a little shit?
Nah, she was like an older woman. I think she was just trying to like mother me a little bit.
Oh, that's cute.
She was sweet when she did. And like I said, I was never mean. My intention isn't to be rude to these people. It's just like, I don't want to, it's not your fault. You're instructed to do this. Now I'm telling you, I don't want to fucking do it. They didn't tell you this was going to happen. Everybody probably says, all right, fucking do. Steal my data.
Yeah, that's the way it is now. I mean, you go anywhere, you go to Foot Locker or something. They're like, okay, phone number? Why do you need my phone number?
Yeah, you're not going to call me.
I don't want to talk to you. We don't know each other.
Yeah.
Just, hello, goodbye. This is what I want. Take my money. Goodbye.
Can I get your emails for coupons?
Yeah, no, you can't. Like PewDiePie was saying, he said, think about it. He said, why do they want you to use their browser so bad? Why do they pay billions of dollars to companies to be the default browser on their devices? He's like, why is it? He said, you got to think about it. He's like, anybody that wants you that bad, that they just make you think everything they're giving you is free. He's like, get out of there.
I will say I like the way I used to like the way it works. Now I don't know what's going on. I have a terrible time browsing like YouTube and when it just crashes. But you want to catch up on the chat real quick?
Yeah, let's move on from that. Let's catch up on the chat. I want to see. It sounds like this technology commercial. I mean, this technology concept is topic is pulling in some folks into the chat. Get them on in.
Spastic, either of you watch Always Sunny? It's the last episode is exactly this, and then Saif says that job would be AI automated in a couple months. Damn, I don't know what job he was talking about. I missed it. Oh, all right. So, do you want to talk about the Idaho shooter, or do you want to talk about a kid that saves his family from a burning house?
Let's talk about the shooter and finish on the happy note with the kid.
Alrighty then.
So what happened with this? Who shot who?
Okay, so the suspect's dead. We don't know.
All right.
And we don't.
Let's clap it up for that. Let's clap it up for the shooter being shot dead. Let's clap it up for that. We don't give enough love to the people that put bullets in these dirtbags.
We don't. You know what's so crazy? They must have fucking really worked this guy, because the statement was like, they were like, we don't know if we shot him or he shot himself.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
Suicided him.
They just know, like, we just know he's dead. His phone stopped moving, and I was like,
oh, that dude was skipping all over the place, but his phone was still. Yo, sometimes like that guy in Florida, why'd you shoot that suspect 68 times? Because we ran out of bullets.
yeah. So he's dead, but there was a fire, and the fire department responded to the fire, and they were trying to put the fire out, and then they started reporting being fired upon. And what they believe happened is that the fire was intentionally set by this person in order to cause harm to the first responders.
Oh.
And the two firefighters, I'm reading some articles I've read said 2 firefighters have passed. Another one I read says 3. They've got a bunch of people in critical condition. It was like a crazy, like heinous, like situation to
Damn.
think, like, firefighters amongst like the most revered like first responders. Like, nobody speaks poorly of firefighters. People might dislike cops. People might dislike people who vape in the EMS, but nobody dislikes the fire department.
No, I've never seen a firefighter, just spray an innocent bystander
Yeah.
with the fire hose.
No,
I've never
and they
seen
do that cool thing when they run up the ladders and shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, and they do that, and they like put him up. They put him up like while he's running up it.
Yeah.
Shit's like still being lifted up, and he's shooting up it.
Yeah, that's circus shit, dude.
I seen it, bro. They do that calendar.
The calendar's very popular. The calendar is very popular.
Quite popular.
Yeah. Firemen do calendars, yes. Helps us keep track of days. Calendars are important.
Yeah, they're like the Mayans.
Yeah. So to see something like this happen to firefighters is crazy.
Yeah, shit is wild. It's a dirtbag, man. But I'm glad they put some holes in this guy. Can't wait for some footage to come up on Reddit.
There's so much like
Something's gonna pop up on X.
tinfoil hat theory, because nobody knows why he did it.
Yeah, Manchurian Candidate, no big deal.
What?
Little MK Ultra.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, of course.
Some people say this might be politically driven. They like pictures of his. I don't. Here's the thing: is this real, or is this the dead internet? Is this what the internet wants me to believe that people believe that? Because I'm seeing like his pictures of his parents, alleged parents, like with MAGA hats in front of the White House, smiling, and they're like, "This is his parents," and you're like, "That's why he did it. It was political. It's a political thing." But is that real? Is the internet just making us like feel that way because I'm on this website or that website? Like, what?
It's propaganda in either direction, because that's exactly what I was going to ask. I was like, what'd they find in the guy's car? Either a MAGA hat or a pride flag.
Yeah.
I was like, what'd they find in this guy's car that's going to allow them to paint him as a left-wing extremist or a right-wing extremist? Like, what is
That's
it?
another thing. Now they're saying it might be related to the fact that we're approaching the end of Pride Week, or today's like
They're going to call it a hate crime.
Pride Month, excuse me.
Wait till they find out one of those firefighters was in the closet.
Oh, my
hate crime.
God.
Hate crime.
Well, listen, this guy ain't going to jail. He's dead. So
Yeah. Man, it's propaganda in either direction. I'm so sick and tired of this completely binary system of Republicans versus Democrats. Like, I'm so tired of it. Everybody's tired of it.
Yeah.
We're not playing this game anymore.
It's not even real.
No, they just throw a MAGA hat somewhere. It could be anything. Like
Yeah.
it could be a zebra gets attacked by hyenas in the zoo. They by accident they merge their, whatever. Somebody left the gate open, and they just throw a MAGA hat over there. Like, fucking Republican hyenas. I knew
Yeah,
it. Hate
100%.
crime. Hate crime.
Yeah.
Or they'll just the other way around. Two chimps get into it or whatever, or name your animal. 2 giraffes get into it, and they throw like. A
Pink hair
pride.
on one of them.
A what?
They throw pink hair on one of them.
Yeah, throw a blue wig in there. And next thing you know, bro, it's 2 libs going at it. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
Everything is like that. Everything is just like you said. It's binary. It's
Smarten up, yo.
Yeah, it's so stupid. You know what's mad funny? I hear. I was watching the show that they were doing like a documentary on like dating apps and stuff like that, and there's like. Allegedly there's like a section of the dating world where like these girls are like wanting to know what like your political alignment is like before like they're able to see you and shit like that. And I'm just like, this is interesting to me that you're going to like reduce the odds of you being successful on because that's why you're on this app, right? It's to find dates or to find people
Yeah.
you're like that you could be with, and like you're marginalizing yourself, or you don't even know if that person even gives a fuck about politics.
Dude, it's crazy to me because like the girls that are like, oh, I want like a liberal guy. The guy they want is so liberal that he's also looking for a guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you guys doing? You guys are just going in this circle. It's like you're looking for a chick or you're looking for a dude that's looking for a dude. So, everybody figure this out. Figure out what we want.
There's a girl on the show and she's like, oh, I like this guy. He looks so cute. She's, oh my God, there's a picture of him holding a fish. I bet you he voted for Trump. No, not him. And I was like, that's crazy how you could just go from like thinking this guy's attractive, he's a winner, and then he shows 1 championship bass, and all of a sudden this guy's burning crosses.
I'll tell you what, me as a dude, I'm like, goddamn right, dude. I bet that thing put up a fight.
Yeah, USA. You know what I'm
USA,
saying?
you know what I'm saying? These colors don't run, baby.
But it's just it's funny. I didn't know how we got on that, but
Nah, it's they confuse themselves to think that they want like these really soft guys that crochet and shit. But really you don't want somebody to sit and crochet with you. If a dude sat down next to you and started crocheting, your skin would crawl. Your skin would crawl. As much as you hate the dirty boots at the front door and shit, you wouldn't have it any other way. You want him to leave his pristine loafers by the front door?
So you're saying that the statistic that shows that women don't like men who play video games simply illustrates that women are very attracted to men who play video games because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about?
I mean, I think the video game thing is kind of a different thing, because given the stereotypical gamer, they're not into that. The 14 Cheeto bags piled up on the floor and shit like that, the 6 big gulps and shit that are sitting over there and that kind of shit, they're not into that.
Maybe not. What about, I want to talk about the Liver King.
But oh my God, let's talk about the Liver King, bro. Let's talk about the Liver King.
Was arrested. He's losing his mind. The 7 ancestral fucking habits. One of them must be cocaine. I didn't know. I didn't know it was one of the elements of the. I didn't know that was one of the ancestral habits. Because my man must be geeked. He's going after Joe Rogan. He's going after Joe Rogan. He wants to fight him. He's like, you can see him. I think he's got like an elk on his back, and he's like walking to Dallas from like Houston, or he's walking to Austin from Houston. He's like walking 700 miles to fight Joe Rogan barefooted with no shirt on. And he was arrested for making terroristic threats. Texas likes Joe Rogan. You should shut the fuck up, Liver King. Because now look, you're in a fucking cell.
The scabs on his face were giving methamphetamine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you saw those scabs on his face.
Is that from Escante?
I don't know, man. It didn't. It was given Breaking Bad on the face, But yeah, don't do that, Liver King. Don't do that, Liver King. You lift heavy things and you put them down. Joe Rogan will either kick you in the face, he'll choke you to sleep, Or it's Texas also, which is a fine old stand your ground state with concealed carry, and he'll just shoot you within his right.
Yeah, and now
know?
you're dead. But I will say, I haven't seen the Liver King since he was outed for using steroids, and he's just as fucking jacked, if not more. Dude, he is yoked.
Yeah, of course he's yoked, bro. But he's like 5 feet tall, though.
Yeah, but he is.
But Rogan would beat the shit out of that guy.
No, I'm just saying he's well defined in his muscular
Yeah, he
structure.
is. But it's funny to me because it's like, I'm telling you right now, like Rogan he wasn't even concerned about this threat, I bet.
No, I haven't even seen him mention it. I'm sure he's not worried about it.
He's not going to talk about it. His PR people or whatever.
Dude,
were
he
like,
walks around with fucking Navy SEALs and fucking Green Berets and shit like that. Did you see the fucking image of Drake? Everybody saying he got fake abs.
yeah, he got ab sculpting or ab implants. I saw it. I already knew that. It seemed like he had that a while back. Yeah, these dudes are desperate, bro. I seen dudes on the Spanish channel, bro, on WAPA. They were talking about it, getting like shit injected into them. I don't think it was synthol. They were calling it something else that they get injected into the muscle groups, and it swells them up for a certain amount of time. And then it looks like they lift crazy and they never skip leg day and shit. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous, you guys.
That doesn't make any sense.
There's no way this is heterosexual men doing this.
Drake got it.
There's no way this is heterosexual men doing this.
I just don't think it's worth it. I seen an Instagram reel of a doctor talking about doing fucking pinga extenders.
Oh, he's putting the extendo in there?
Yeah, 2 inches. I think that we don't know about this, but this is something that happens that they're doing.
That's the extendy thing.
It was like it was a surgeon, and he was like in the surgery room, and he was like using some kind of. It looked like, you ever seen like pork fat? Like you ever seen like cut pork belly?
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like that.
And he's putting it in there?
He was like dunking it in like some like iodine solution or some kind of solution, and he was like, this is what adding 2 inches. This is what you need to add 2 inches or something like that.
He's like, cuero de pinga.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Maybe. But I was like, oh.
Te voy a envolver
I was like, you're doing we're
el amiguito tuyo con esta piel que tengo aquí.
yeah, and this is gonna give you the 2 inches. I was like, I didn't know that was something that we're doing. I didn't know we had unlocked that.
Well, listen, man, if they've been going this hard for all the things for girls, like all we had up until today was calf implants. That's all we had. Now we're doing ab sculpting,
Yeah.
pec implants. You know, come on, guys, stop doing this.
I think it's dumb.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because once you get fat, it's gonna look crazy.
That's the same thing with chicks with these crazy fat asses when they get the BBLs, and then 5 years and they start looking crazy. They gain weight, and then the ass gets even bigger.
And it looks weird, disproportionate, and crazy.
Yeah.
She looked like a sofa.
Yeah.
She looked crazy. I'm like, what is going on? This chick got a love seat on her back.
Dude, it's so unattractive. I can't believe that. It's like
Can't do it.
It's still a thing, dude.
Or even if they get pregnant. It happens with their face too when they mess with their face. Who's the chick from
I thought you were about to call some bitch out we really know.
No. Who's the chick that does that podcast where it's like a date?
Lauren Compton.
Yeah, Lauren Compton. When she got pregnant, she looked weird in the face because she got shit done to her face. And you know when a woman gets pregnant, her face changes.
Oh, yeah.
For a little while. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way back. It's just something's different. Like their nose will like widen up or something, or their lips will change, something like that. But when you start messing with your face and then you get pregnant, you look crazy as hell. You look crazy as hell. Lauren Compton was bad, bro. She was hot. She got pregnant. I was like, oh no, here we go. Everything you got work done on is starting to jump out at me.
Yeah.
Your nose was like, hello. Her lips popped up. Were like, hey, look at me. It's weird.
Yeah, that kid sucked a lot of it out of her. But it was amazing how fast the milk arrived. It was interesting. I was like, oh.
Quick, eh?
Yeah, I knew it before the announcement. They didn't have to tell me. When they said it, I was like, oh, of course, yeah.
The body knows, my friend. The body knows. Oh
Let's
my
talk about
God.
this fucking kid that saved his two his siblings and his grandmother. There was a kid.
He
12
needs to
years old.
save the Liver King from getting round kicked in his face too.
Nobody could save that.
Joe
man.
Rogan.
This 12-year-old kid in Petersburg, Virginia.
Fair.
He walked downstairs and there was a fire. There's a fire burning. Kid goes back upstairs. His two brothers or two siblings, a 1 and a 2-year-old,
Okay.
are sleeping on the couch. He grabs them, takes them outside, then goes back into the burning house, and gets his grandmother and pulls her out too.
How old's the kid?
12.
Wow.
Kid's a hero.
Toxic masculinity at its finest.
Yeah.
Way to go, young man.
They made him an honorary firefighter, and the fireman told him when he's 18, come see me. I got a job for you.
Of course. Come see me at the Plaza Hotel.
Yeah.
You know, good for
Jokes on
him.
him. It's a volunteer
Where
program.
was it?
Petersburg, Virginia.
Wow. That's fire, man. That kid's a hero. Good for him.
Y'all see CNN, the app CNN was caught promoting Ice Block. It's like Waze just for where ICE and agents are.
Yo, how is CNN still allowed to be considered a news network?
He
That
said-
place is a terrorist organization.
Y'all see the app CNN was promoting Ice Block. It's like Waze just for where ICE agents are. It's called Ice Block. I gotta look for this.
Oh my God, man.
So I guess CNN is a liberal news network.
Yeah, it's retardedly liberal.
Is it?
It's retardedly liberal.
I don't see it on the App Store.
Yeah, it's probably been taken down now. It's probably been flagged. Like that shit is crazy, dude. That shit is like treasonous. I don't understand how that's not considered treason. I really don't.
I don't think that's treasonous.
I think it's treasonous. You know, just if you don't want them to find people, just don't say shit. Just nobody's saying you got to call on people and shit like that. But when you're intentionally impeding that, there's no way that's legal.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even see the app, so maybe it wasn't and they took it down.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy though. Imagine developing an application that even has the ability to do that.
yeah, dude, you see the mayor in that town in California that call for the SA gangs to go to their hood and protect the people in the hood from ICE agents. It's a mayor calling on
Southsiders?
the Latino gangs over there to go back to their neighborhood and protect their neighborhood against ICE.
The mayor was
The
saying this?
mayor, bro. The mayor of a town in California.
That's treasonous.
That shit is crazy as hell to me.
Damn. That's a dangerous game. A lot of those guys have just been classified as terrorists.
You know, this shit is insane. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this lady, she's like, you claim your hood? You say this your thing? What do you do when these people come for your people?
What?
Yeah, dude.
The mayor said that?
Yo, straight up, bro. Straight up.
You see this new guy they got running who won the Democratic primary
In New York?
In New York.
Yeah. People kept talking about that he was eating rice with his hands. That's the main shit people keep on talking about. He was eating rice with his hands. I'm like,
Bro, the internet is so crazy, bro. You can tell this. It can't be real. It has to all be fake because the second this guy won, the internet just went ablaze. From people who love him to people think he's talking about he's a terrorist.
yo, it's crazy, bro. Just everything is just attacks or blind praise.
Yeah.
You know, it's like crazy as hell, dude. You know, it really is crazy. People are just not logical when it comes to
I seen him
politics.
and I was like, oh man, this guy doesn't seem that bad. He seems pretty cool. And I was like, $30 minimum wage, motherfucker. Who's paying that?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
$30 minimum wage. You're trying to make a Big Mac $14? Get the hell out of here,
no,
bro.
thank you, brother.
Nah.
Sorry, I was all about you taxing the rich, but I don't want to fucking pay 30. I don't want to. Dude, some of these things are just unrealistic. How do you accomplish these things?
You can't accomplish it. And that's the thing, that you can't accomplish a lot of the stuff that politicians swear they can. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. They just lie. If you just sit back and use logic and you're like, Sure, you want to, like, they'll be like, when I get elected, I'm going to give a house to every homeless person in the country. We're going to give them a house. And people will be like, oh my God, this guy's the best. He's going to give houses to all the homeless. He's got my vote, without saying, how are they going to do that? How are they going to execute anything they say they're going to? People don't think about it.
You
They
know,
just vote.
Trump said a lot of stuff before he made it.
A whole lot of stuff.
he
We're
said-
already in a war.
Yeah, he's the only thing he's accomplished is he's just shipping people out. Whether you're going to war or to Mexico or El Salvador,
Yeah.
you know, they're going out for sure.
For sure. And it's in small numbers.
No, but you're absolutely right. They do promise things that, you know, they definitely don't do or they can't do.
They can't do it. He's like, Epstein list first day. He's like, that's what we're doing. They go in there and they're like, you idiot. They're like, you have no idea who's on this list. It's everybody. It's our founding fathers. It's Ben Franklin came back and flew to Epstein Island. Like everybody, they have holograms
They said,
on these planes
Mr.
of
President.
Lincoln on this goddamn plane.
Mr. President, you're on the list.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I guess I am on that list, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a
crazy.
golf course over there. I was looking at it. I was trying to see if I'm going to put a course over there. You know, there's so many things that they said they were going to do that they can't. They were like, oh, the video footage is coming out. Everything's being released about Epstein dying in prison. Nothing. Nothing at all. Still conflicting stuff. You know, Kash Patel went on Joe Rogan. Did you see that episode?
No.
Dude, he went on Joe Rogan and had like no answers. He's like, oh yeah, I just saw the footage for the first time. And Joe Rogan's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, the footage from like in the jail. He said, you just saw that now? And he's like, yeah, like recently. He's like, why? He's like, Jamie, pull up when this happened. And of course, Jamie's pulling everything up. Like as Kash Patel is saying shit, he got shit in the cut. And Joe Rogan's like, oh, look, this is what you're talking about right here in this article and shit. So he's like, why did it take this long for you to see this footage?
So does the footage exist? Is it real?
That's what he's saying. And Joe Rogan's like, you see, it's hard now because with AI, they could recreate anything. He said a shitty quality video of a guy far away in a jail. He's like, that's simple for AI to create. He said, we don't even know what's real anymore. You know, we don't even know what's real. So he was like, I'm telling you, he killed himself. He killed himself. Like, that's what Kash Patel said. He said, I know everybody wants that to not be the case, but it is the case. And it's like highly unlikely.
Yeah.
You know, highly unlikely. I mean, I don't believe none of this. He's the kind of guy that the information he knows, if it was taken to the right people and the right people received it appropriately, he's off the hook for life. He's the kind of guy, the information he has on people that matter, you know, if they were to actually pursue these charges,
Yeah.
he'd be granted immunity. They give immunity to the driver of a drive-by because they put they identify the 4 shooters in a vehicle.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Didn't the president just pardon NBA YoungBoy?
yeah.
Everybody's getting it.
Everybody's getting out, bro. I think didn't he pardon like Big Meech or something? Did he do something else?
It wasn't it the
With
other
Larry
dude?
Hoover or
Yeah,
something?
one of those guys.
You know, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people get deals for. So if he did know as much as they say he knows, he would be out.
Shout out to the derelicts in the chat. It says, Burrow's glowing tonight. Thank you. I'm pregnant. Keep it a buck. If a politician said he was lower the price of Newports, I'd be voting for him. I'd be in the voting booth. That's the thing. Is like that's basically what this guy that won the Democratic primary for what is he, mayor?
Yeah.
Of New York. That's essentially what he did.
But the mayor thing is weird. Like they do it again. It's weird. Like people are saying, you know, Cuomo's going to win like the main one. They have like
what?
multiple primaries, I think. It's
He's
like
gonna go
something
again?
weird. Yeah, it's like something weird. And they're like, Cuomo's going to win. I think this is one of those. It's wrestling. So right now they have an interim champ. You know, they have an interim champion right now. And then the real champ, you know, from the Democratic Party is going to emerge. It's always some nonsense going on.
I will say I fucked with him when he was like, everybody was like, what would you do? What would be the first thing you did if you were elected as the mayor? And every single person goes, oh, I would visit the Holy Land. I would go to Israel. And he's like, I wouldn't go to Israel. And in my head, I'm like, well, I don't think you're welcomed over there. And the next thing he goes, I would be here in New York.
Yeah,
You know?
the moderators started going in when he was like, no, I'm not going there because it was something about traveling because apparently the New York City mayor goes somewhere for international trips or whatever, and it's important for some reason. So they asked where they would go, and that's what they were saying. They were like, "Oh, I'd go to Israel. I'd go to the Holy Land. I would go to Israel. There's a lot of, like Cuomo was like, there's a lot of Israelis. There's a lot of Jews in New York City." This guy says, "No, I'm going to stay with my constituents. I'm going to stay within the 5 boroughs because that is where I'm supposed to be. That's a job." And immediately the moderator's like, "So you hate the Jews?" And the guy's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "So you don't, are you saying that you condemn the Jews?"
Yeah.
And all this crazy, you condemn Israel, you don't believe in Israel as a state? And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, so
he's like,
tell us, how long have you supported Hamas?
yeah, he's like, "Dude, I'm just trying to go to Queens." He's like, "I'm just trying to stay in Queens and Brooklyn." He's like, "I'm not trying to go to the Middle East. I don't know what the hell we're talking about."
Yeah.
But it was mad funny. Immediately, everybody, and then all the other candidates started jumping on it. They were like, "He hates Jews." They're like anti-Semite and shit. Everybody started pointing at him and saying crazy shit. Immediately, bro.
That's so funny.
Everybody was like, "Here's our opportunity." They all got to go. They were like, "Go!" They were like, "Nuke him, anti-Semitism," and then they just went at him. It was classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy. So he won the fake primary or whatever he won. Right now, he's parading around with a JanSport.
The memes are mad funny when they're
Yeah.
there's like AI videos of a bunch of people like praying on like the prayer rugs.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's not even, where's he from?
I think he's from South Africa.
Oh, he's not
Yeah.
Asian?
He's now what?
Asian?
Like some kind of Middle Eastern.
Like Western Asia, like Indian or like,
I don't know. What's his name?
I don't know what his name is.
His name is Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah, where's he from?
12-point victory. Let's see. I think he's from South Africa.
Oh, why are all the memes about him being like Indian or Middle Eastern or some kind of like Arabic or something? There's like a meme of like they're like New York City right now, and there's like a bunch of people like praying on prayer rugs like all in the street, and like there's like,
Oh, he's a Libra.
oh, okay, well, I don't trust him.
He's a Ugandan.
Oh, he's from Uganda.
Ugandan and American politician serving as a member of New York State Assembly for the 36th district.
Uganda's in Africa.
Let's see. Born in Uganda, Kampala, Uganda.
Yeah, he. Yeah, so that's in Africa.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't know what the hell, people were just, it was funny because he threw everybody a curveball. They were like, "Wait, he's a Democrat, but he still hates Jews. Can you do that? Can you be a Democrat and still hate Jews?" They were like, I don't know. Hey, bad, but they figured it out. He made it out. He made
it out, and they picked him. And guess what? If he stays in the hood, like, and he keeps giving out turkeys, he's gonna fucking win.
He's absolutely gonna win. And you know what up, man? Give them turkeys out. Throw one my way.
Yeah, they're gonna. Here comes the congestion tax. It's coming right back.
And we're at the hour with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're at the hour. You got something else you want to talk about?
No, I got nothing. I'm digging myself into a hole. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I got you out. Master Numb Podcast, episode 257. Thank you, everybody that joined in the live chat. If you're in the live chat, make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. Make sure you already are subscribed to the channel. Anybody that's watching now or in the future, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode or a single live stream or a short or a clip or any video that we post on the channel. And we appreciate everybody. Make sure you check us out on all audio podcast platforms. And if you don't find us on your favorite or preferred audio podcast platform, Berto, let them know what they can
Join the
do.
Discord. Join the Discord and harass us since we place the podcast on your obscure podcast listening platform. Join the Discord anyways. A lot of conversations going on right there. A lot of feet pics. You guys don't even know it, but look at this. I'm going to give you a little preview. Oh, that's all you get. Sockless today, baby.
Sockless, free towing it.
Yeah, so join the Discord if you want to see my feetsies.